John McCaig with JesusChristTrust.net. Yep, this is the church with proof. How would anyone get a physical building called a church? Come on. Gotta be one of them. Okay, so let's get into this dilemma. What came first, the chicken or the egg? It has an easy answer. It's just not chicken or egg. Okay? And this, if you just look at this dilemma of the chicken and the egg, it proves we're in a time loop. Okay? That's the only possible explanation, right? How could it possibly happen? How could it happen? How could it happen? That's with every bird and egg and everything, right? Oh, scientific resolutions. Oh, where's the spiritual resolutions or religious resolution? Nope, don't have them. Don't have them. World. Oh, here we go. Well-known question as settled in the Christian world. It's describing the creation of the animals, right? Well, we're in a time loop, right? God can start and stop creation. If you have the power of creation, which God has the power of creation, so if you have that power, what is inherent in the power of creation? What? There are two other powers that are inherent in creation, aren't they? Destruction, right? If you create something, well, you got to use something, you have to destroy something to create something, right? Something has to change form to create something. So that implies destruction, you see? And what also does it imply? If you create something, you're like, oh, that's nice. So you might want some of it to last, right? Preservation. So creation implies destruction and preservation are inherent in the power of creation. Obviously. So this just means that time can start and stop, on a dime, instantly. And how would you know? How would you know except for God left you signs around you to prove this? And the chicken and the egg prove it all on its own without there being, this philosophical dilemma that's brought up right in front of your face. And so, of course, you have to know this. That what's the answer to the question? Okay, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Answer: God came first. It's a trick question, like I said. Answer is God. God came first before the chicken and the egg. God always will be. God always was. God is outside of time. Okay, so God also, if you're outside of time, you have power over time. Can you see that? You have power over time. Creation, preservation, destruction, and power over time. God is the only possible explanation. It's so obvious. Just that one fact. Everything around you proves God, right? As Mayor Baba said, you're just sitting on the beach one day, and talking to his disciples, and said, somebody asked him about God, and he's like, how does the water stay separate from the sand? Just that on its own proves there's a God. How is that even possible? Do you see? Sand lets water in, and yet, wait, they're right next to each other, and it's working. Always. That's impossible. But it's absolutely what you're witnessing all day. You just don't think it's a miracle. Which it is a miracle. How does that water not mix with that sand? Do you see? Just that's that little thing. And the chicken or the egg is like that. And so you should look around you like, how does a seed happen? The consciousness that formed that. You see? Nothing is random. Randomness is impossible. There's not one single thing that will ever happen, has ever happened, that is random. That doesn't happen. That never happens. The law of Dharma exists here, the common law. So everything, God and this existence is constantly weighing everything. You know, it's Satan and the evils, right? Checking my list, but I couldn't find out if you're naughty or nice. Everything is here attenuated to what you're up to, what your actions are, what, sending you thoughts. What are you going to do about them, and measuring you constantly. Just because you can't see them around you, they're always around you. Always, like, I think of it, I feel it, I feel them, like the hairs on my arm. You know what I mean? Like, it's just too many to count. It's just like they're everywhere. So everything is being, notated. Remember why, read the book of Enoch, the Watchers. It's right in there. Do you see? This game becomes extremely obvious once someone cracks the, Humpty Dumpty, you break that egg, you're like, oh my God, we're in a, we're in a, we're in an egg. Once Humpty Dumpty is off that wall, it can't be put back together, no matter, how many. No, you're wrong. We're on an egg. We're not in an egg. It's like, wait a second, we're on an egg. Then everything is down from me, right? If I'm on an egg that's spinning, well, wouldn't I be spinning? Wouldn't the wind be going by me at 999 miles an hour? Oh my God. And it's going around the sun at 66,600 miles an hour, and it's tilted at 66.6 degrees. I mean, how many 666 do you need to see it's a hoax? The whole stupid, idiotic game is for children. You have to see past their veils, trying to block God. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to prevent you from getting to God so that you have to fight your way. And then once you make it there, God's like, oh, hey, you made it, great. And then, you feel the separation from God is removed. In Eastern mysticism, it's called samadhi, Samadhi, for the Hindus. For the Buddhists, bodhisattva, you reach, enlightenment. You see? Must happen. That's the reason for existence. So, just existence exists. You have to see it for what it is, what's here, and so on. But then, isn't that amazing? God made this game that I have to beat, and it's just, everything's a miracle. Okay. That doesn't make me want to stay in a prison. I want to get back to God. Do you see? Amazing. An absolutely infinitely detailed prison. Infinitely detailed. Infinitely, right? It's just, you go to the smallest particle and it's still, everything is infinite in every direction. It's incredible. It's impossible. It's quite a game, but in the end it's like, it's a very detailed, very difficult to beat prison or maze. You have to get out of this maze with a dome on it. The only way to do it is by serving Jesus Christ. Okay. Oh boy, let me just put this in here. I talked to a Christian last night. If you're gonna come to Drum Circle where I am, I'll be like, hey, yeah, I'm the saint that runs North America for him. Hey, and they look at me. I'm like, hey, if it, what happens to people is based on how they treat saints. You get judged on basically that. You know what I mean? That point. Everything else, it matters or whatever, but if you interact with a saint and you deny the truth that's said, well, what? Your judgment's sealed. It doesn't matter. Because this guy is just wearing Jesus on his shirt. That's great. But he stepped into the circle where I'm praying for Jesus. I'm like, do you know what Christ means? The anointed one. No, that's not the meaning of the title. He is the anointed one, but no, that isn't what it means. And I go on to explain, rainbows are created. Like, we're standing on the beach, son. And I point over at the outdoor shower and I say, You know how you see a rainbow in an outdoor shower? You never see one in an indoor shower? That means the light's coming through a crystal dome, the firmament in the Bible. You see? You see that? That's what crystal, Christ rules the crystal dome, the crystal sphere we're inside. That's the meaning. He was Jesus of Nazareth. Then he gets a title after he's on on the cross. You win. You're Christ, right? Jesus Christ. Okay, you're out of the crystal sphere. You rule it. That's it. That's what it means. I tell the guy. He's like, he looks at me and he starts trying to rebut me and say, he starts quoting the Bible. And I said, no, it's not about, you're going to be judged on your actions, not whether you quoted the Bible. You see what I'm saying? What have you're standing in front of me with his name on. What have you done in his name? What can you prove you've done? That was my question. Okay. You don't know what Christian means, and you're going to say just the straight up line from the Bible. Okay. Now, what have you done? That's my question. He's like, and he just starts quoting the Bible again. And I said, listen, buddy, you're going to be judged on your actions. Okay. Not what you say. Okay. Everybody knows what the book says. That's not what you're going to be judged on. Someone else wrote that book. Who wrote it? It doesn't even know God wrote nothing. I was like, dude, you know nothing and you've done nothing. What are you doing in this circle? He says to me, you're a saint. I say, yeah, exactly. I say, yeah, exactly. So, and then I was like, look, you're here for a short time. I give everybody a hard time really, like with sledgehammer to the brain because listen, you and I may never see each other again. And it's really important you understand how you treat me is the way you're going to be judged on Judgment Day 9/11/2033. So you have to go ponder that. You shouldn't say any more to me. You shouldn't have a reaction to me. You should like leave this circle and go pray and try and process this. And, he shut his mouth and walked away because, them fairies, they know what's up, in the end, and they're here to test us. So I'm like, don't, if you roll up on me with your colors on, whatever your colors may be, anybody who wears colors inside of that drum circle, I'll be like, hey, what do your colors mean? You know what I mean? And then I show them the power of Jesus Christ by using his name in front of them and speaking the truth to them. Oh, you come in with your colors? Well, you're going to hear the truth. The truth includes Jesus Christ and the rest of it. You will hear the truth. If you wear colors around me, you'll hear the truth. Oh, you got a flag on. You got, this logo, this motto, this face, this symbol, this blah, blah, blah. All of that. That's all colors to me. That's your affiliation. Oh, okay. Well, now we got to talk about it. Because you wore colors up in my face at this spiritual crucible. Right? It's drum circle, like a powwow. You pray for your God or things can go, pray for Jesus or, or things are going to go bad. I've had so many things happen in there, but that's for another time. Chicken or the egg? Come on, what's the answer? And this is fun to do to people, Anyone you meet, hey, what came first, the chicken or the egg? And they sit there and think, and you know what I mean? And they got to pick one. I'm like, finally, I'm like, hey, it's a trick question. And they're like, oh. I'm like, God came first. I'm like, oh. What? It just doesn't, like, it's like a spring in a watch, it's like, boing, the thing just won't go back in. It's like, ding, broke your spring. It's like the clock's not working anymore, and they walk off. But, so it's a fun one. See, it's like Thor up here. It's like, give me a sledgehammer. Where am I taking it? Right to your brain. Right? I got to shake loose the dust and the cobwebs and the programming. Since it's all a lie. All of it. Can you imagine? Just if you sit back and think for a second how much time and energy and resources goes into lying to control you. You might think infinite. All the resources go to making sure you're lied to. Like all of them. All the resources that exist. Can you imagine? What if they went for another purpose? Do you see what I'm saying? What if they went to, oh, Jesus said, do this, And you could live in a home for free, right? And Go out there and say, hey, come by my place. It's open on Sundays. I have a group over for tea, see my free house, and then you go get yourself one. You know? Living in a happy world where no one's lying to each other. Can you imagine? Because it's every single bit of every resources goes to lying. All of it. All resources that exist inside this home go to lying. What if that didn't happen? You see what I'm saying? What if the servants of Jesus Christ didn't have that happening and could show the others, hey, look, guess what? You don't have to lie your way through life or be lied to through life or a combination or, because that make your head spin. Have a cup of tea and uh, open Sundays from 1 to 3, and anyone that signs this on their way in to Jesus Christ and pledge their soul, you can come by and visit. No one else can. And you got to make an appointment, right? Through email. And then I'll let you know after I check up on you. Send me your particulars. You follow? Like, what a different world this is going to be. This spiritual technology that we're left with, the name Jesus Christ and the power behind it, is enough to resolve what I just explained. Do you see? That's what a perfect master is here to do. Resolve the unresolvable miraculously. Not by... We're the performers of miracle. We're out there like an actor. I'm performing, right? What's your performance? I'm with Jesus Christ. Oh, that's quite a performance. Yes, it is. You see what I'm saying? We don't do miracles, right? We're the performer. There's a law here, dharma, common law. It exists. And then we perform, and our actions, our performance, based on that, causes, right? It causes a reaction. Once you understand the things at play here, you're like, okay, I can be like Jesus, right? That's what he taught us. Use the law, the latent law, that I laid down. Do unto others, right? The golden rule. Do unto others, or guess what's going to happen, right? Oh. And those who, love others by treating others how you want to be treated. You expect to be treated like this, so you treat them like that. And and if you're a complete, total, whatever ass, you expect to be treated like an ass. So you treat them like an ass if they're acting like an ass. You would expect to be treated that way, right? Oh, if you start walking up to a baby and start talking some crap about a baby, you're acting like an ass, and so somebody's going to treat you like you're acting like an ass, right? That's what you'd expect. It's based on that. You see, hey, what are you doing? It's not always. He didn't say love each other. Oh no, wait. That's the other team talking. Love each other. Go sleep with whomever you want. It's like, wait a minute. I don't think that's what he was getting at. No. Chicken or the egg. Obviously, in 1 second God starts it. Obviously, in 1 second God stops it. Time. Everything. And everything to do with everything. The creator, preserver, destroyer. Come on, get in the game. Ask people around you, hey, what came first, the chicken or the egg? And you just watch, you know what I mean? Because we're here to beat them. We're here to unscramble everybody's programming, right? So you got to go in there and scramble it and then bring it about right. You see what I'm saying? So the chicken and the egg question, that helps to get right to the core of their programming. You see what I'm saying? It bypasses everything. And now you're in there in that, center core of empty vacuum of knowing nothing, because everybody knows nothing, right? They're all been lied to. So you get into that empty vacuum. You're like, you ask a question from that empty vacuum of the center of their intelligence, which is empty, right? They have no intelligence. And so you're standing there, hey, and you hear echo, what came first? The chicken or the egg, right? It's like, it's nothing in there. So, but that's why you get in there and you're like, hey, what about this? Doesn't that, and then you get to the point that it proves there's God. And so now you've just in the center of their core, you struck down a flag for God. Okay, you're going to have to think about that, aren't you? Like, there's no way around. You have to consider that. And it's like the twinkle, twinkle, little star. We have these riddles laid down from us, you know, as soon as we get in here as children, right? What came first, the chicken or the egg? Now you know the answer. Tell others.